where they got backstories. But for Maruki, not. Let's just drew all over it though, because it'd be so sad. He gave up. He didn't give up nothing. He literally made himself the victim of something that had nothing to do with him. My God.
His lover.
If you were asked my brother, because of the fact that the only time you ever see Rumi is in a flashback, the only person who ever talks about Rumi is Maruki, and the idea is since no one ever brings up about the fact that Rumi had her entire mind state change, my brother brings up the theory that Rumi never existed. Because there's no proof that she ever exists outside of Maruki's head.
Didn't his buddy mention it when we were at the restaurant?
Would he not have also mentioned the fact that she has also doesn't remember her own boyfriend?
Oh.
He didn't say anything, meaning as far as we can know, Maruki probably said, oh, we broke up or something. We don't know what Shibusawa knows. So as far as they're concerned, there's a distinct chance they could just claim that Rumi never existed.
Oh, okay.
Because there's nothing in this game proves that she did exist.
Long dead the whole time.
And not only that, this brings me to my final point. If Adachi MP4 is an incel, Maruki's a simp. He's seen his entire palace around the girlfriend he gave up on, but is still obsessed over.
Damn it! Just hearing it from you's pissing me off. You've come so far. What problem could they possibly have now?
I tried negotiating in person with the professor and the investors, but they simply wouldn't listen. Due to the lack of concrete evidence, all further research and funding in the field of cognitive science will cease. They told me it's already over and done with. But why now, of all times? When they first saw my paper, they were positively beaming with excitement.
In the research lab in Odaiba? They're not going through with that anymore?
Yep.
First.
Damn it. To hell with their concrete evidence. How are we supposed to get any evidence if we can't perform the research first? If we can change the cognition of trauma victims, their suffering can be eliminated. Who knows how many people could be saved with this research? How much more obvious could its benefits be?
So, do you really think the lack of evidence is the reason they shut it all down?
It makes absolutely no sense to me. After all the time and money spent, to just cut off my research because it wasn't all proven sound immediately. Even if that was the result of some kind of conspiracy, what could I do about it? It's not like I have any proof.
I see. So, what are you gonna do now? Sponsors have backed out, so I doubt the college is gonna let you keep using their labs.
I'm done with that college. They have nothing for me at this point. I'll look for work elsewhere while I keep fleshing out that research paper. Eventually I'll prove the existence of the cognitive world. Once I've done that, no one will be able to complain. Rumi, I swear I'm going to do it. I have the power now. It cost me my life with you. So I'm going to rescue everyone from their pain. I don't care how long it takes me. It's going to happen.
So
That's
that was another of
contradictory.
Dr. Maruki's memories? Yes, I believe so. Seemed to be a much more recent memory than the first one we saw, though. His research was cut off.
So after the incident with his girlfriend, he progressed in his research to harness cognitive science as a healing practice. However, his research was shut down, and his career along with it. All he had left was his resolve to prove his research valid, then use it to save people. That seems to be the message delivered by the videos we found.
It must have been his dream, to use his research to save people here.
If that sounds good to you, would you prefer we just turn around and go home?
That isn't an option.
Yeah, what she says. If anything, we've got to pull out all the stops to win this one.
Well, the vote was unanimous.
Oh, the research was suddenly pulled because there's no actual proof, huh? Man, if only Marky had the ability to alter someone's cognition, you think he could do something with that? But fortunately for us, talking to Marky does not have such an ability, and therefore now the ability to showcase such an ability and thus prove his research reality, and thus be able to get funding from nearly any effing rich person, because such an ability would be incredibly valuable. It doesn't matter who you have to go through, all he requires is funding. It has to be from a specific location. He could go literally anywhere with that ability. But luckily for us, Toyota Marky does not have the ability to affect one's cognition. The ability of actualization, if you were to give it a name. He does not have such an ability at this point in time, am I right?
Huh? That's major contradictory.
He could just prove use his ability and prove that he can change, that cognition can be changed and affect the person. But nah, let's just get drunk anyway and feel bad for myself. Hell, you could also use Ruby as patient zero, but no, man. I was just drinking all by myself, all sad because I'm Mariki. I need to be sad because my sin is sorrow, so I need the player to feel bad for me because I'm totes a good guy, guys. Look at me. I tried everything. You don't understand. I tried everything to make things work. I tried everything, clearly everything from A to Z. I did not half-heartedly do jack all. Feel bad for me. Man, F Marky.
You fucking do.
First I'm gonna rob you, then I'm gonna go. We got a free psych evaluation, guys.
What place is this?
Well?
You may go, Kenny, what's wrong with this issue? What's wrong with this place? Oh, there's no real penalty to get getting things wrong or right, so we even gives an F, and you have to talk to every NPC in the room, then go to the save room in order for Phantom Thief to talk and give you the obvious answer, then go give the obvious answer, do this 4 times.
And that's why we have the fast forward button.
Literally, your only penalty is having to fight a shadow. What such a grand penalty.
Oh, it's
No,
nice that this area is just a giant skip then. That's cool.
Not only that, people try to say, it's great because there is no right or wrong answer. No, there is a wrong answer. You're supposed to answer in the same way Mariki thinks. Anything deemed wrong has people get freaking scolded by shadows who are gonna help change their mindset. Unless it's you, in which case it's to try to kill you on the spot. Despite this guy saying this place is open for everybody, that's why no one's trying to kill us right now. But we can say something wrong, and Shadow goes, F you, and tries to kill you on the spot.
This looks usable.
And if I gotta do it 4 times, I talk to every NPC in the room, every single one in the room, because God forbid you can just guess, because who gives an F? Who gives an F about this psych evaluation BS?
I can feel it.
And yet this is one of the parts of the palace that's most praised.
right.
Hey,
Decide, I don't know.
hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Agree.
Are y'all having fun?
No, the skip button exists.
Well, aren't you learning so much about
No, I
Maruki's
don't
mind?
give a fuck.
He's officially breaking down.
I just want to get to the damn boss.
The third semester has officially broken him. Be fixed. Like just that whole speech, he's unironically just that whole light speech.
No.
Purpose give it to me. Who else would have done it? And have come this far. Would they have kept going?
Focus.
No.
Because the notes are highlighting one of Mercury's other issues. He has a messiah complex. The Death Note stuff just never ends, does it? Armando, why are you saying no?
It's used so poorly.
Hey.
It's what fits you so poorly.
I'm just. We already dried up that well with the catchy. It's just not working now.
Oh.
Oh yeah!
The fuck was that?
Somebody's really excited, I guess.
When we finish.
Why you're not joining a new palace?
I just want to get to the boss.
But saying stuff like that, it sounds like you're not enjoying the place.
Long and unnecessary.
It's really said Persona 1.
No.
I will know. Wait, what the? No, that's not what I want to do. I will know. The final section can be rendered short,
Looks like you can use
but that's only if you're a really big brain. I am not that big brain, so that's gonna be a while.
this enemy is being
Unless you two can bring brain up, that part's gonna be a while.
Joker beat 2 enemies.
Mondo's just done with this and I'm operating on 3 a.m. brain.
Oh,
So, you're Sumire Yoshizawa, huh? I'm Dr. Maruki. I'll be your counselor. First of all, thank you for coming to see me.
Yes. Thank you for seeing me. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what to discuss. I only came here today because my parents wanted me to.
That's fine. So, do you want to just chat until our time's up then?
Chat, huh?
Of course. It's not really possible for us to talk about things you don't want to discuss anyway. I've also got some sweets and some salty snacks there. Feel free to have at them.
Oh yes, thank you so much.
So, let's start with, how about, what'd you eat for lunch yesterday?
The most exciting with small
I'll go
talk.
first. The other day, a friend of mine gave me a ton of apples. I've grown tired of just eating them by themselves. Yesterday, I thought, why not try using them as a meal ingredient? So, I tried making an apple dish for lunch, but that didn't turn out too hot. What do you think I ended up making?
I have no clue.
Shrimp and chili sauce with apples. You know how sweet and sour pork can have pineapple in it? I was going for that, but
Sounds like it didn't work for you.
That sounds like an
Those do make for good ingredients, though.
abysmal combo.
If you grate them, you can make a surprisingly versatile sauce. I use it in plenty of my food. It's pretty nutritious and good for digestion.
you cook, Yoshizawa-san? I'm impressed that you care so much about nutrition. You must be really on top of things.
I'm just active, that's all. I'm a gymnast. My coach has told me more than once to be conscious of everything I eat.
I see. How's practice going for you? Has it been rough lately?
It has been rough. I mean, it's nothing I can't handle, but it's not going well. I don't even know what I want to do anymore.
Sorry to hear it. Do you enjoy gymnastics?
I'm not even sure of that. My older sister and I made a promise. We'd both compete and win the biggest gymnastics awards in the world. But she passed away. She protected me from a car. I stole Kasumi's dream away from her. I can't do it anymore. I can't just go on like this. If Kasumi were here instead, I know she'd make her dream come true. Only Kasumi could have done it. No matter how long I try to compete, it's not going to change anything. I'm sorry.
There's no need for you to apologize in here. If there's something you need to get off your chest, please do so.
Sometimes I can't help but think things would have been better if I were Kasumi Yoshizawa. After all, just wishing to make her dream come true does nothing for her in reality.
Making dreams come true, huh? Well, I don't think your train of thought is strange at all, Yoshizawa-san. In fact, wanting to become somebody else isn't necessarily an entirely bad thing.
You think so?
Everyone is capable of changing themselves. Your imagination's your only limit. That's why, if you aspire to be more like another person, it's actually possible. Thought exercises like, would that person do this? Or realizations like, that person wouldn't do that. These sorts of thoughts can lead people to change themselves in ways that more closely mirror the target person. Can you still imagine what your sister was like?
Yes.
If your sister were in your shoes, what do you think she'd do?
Well, she wouldn't cry. If she had the time to do that, she'd just practice more instead. Dr. Maruki, I want to become Kasumi.
I know. And I'm sure you can too. Just believe in yourself. How about it? Are you feeling any better now?
Yes, I feel like a weight's been lifted off of me. You're amazing, Doctor.
It's no big deal. Still, it seems like my counseling approach does some good after all.
I'm not sure how to put it, but I feel like I've been reborn all over again.
Really? I'm very glad to hear it. Feel free to drop by again sometime, should anything come up. We can even just have a chat, like today.
Thank you. Then we could pick up where we left off talking about...
Something the matter?
Now that I think about it, I'm not any good at cooking. I don't know why I said those things earlier. My younger sister's the one who was really great at it.
That's right. Kasumi Yoshizawa?
Yes? What is it?
Oh, nothing. I'm so glad I was able to help you. Good luck with your training.
Right. I'll do my best. For Sumire's sake and mine. Was that? Yes. It was a counseling session I had with Dr. Maruki. It was just after Kasumi... after my sister passed away. From that moment on, I lived my life really believing I was Kasumi.
It was all due to the rewriting of your cognition. His actualization, as we've started calling it.
Okay, but I've been wondering something. So, it was only Sumire who believed that she was Kasumi, right? I assumed someone in your family or one of your friends would have noticed you going by the wrong name right away.
Well, I can certainly remember being called Kasumi by everyone else, too.
It might be more accurate to say you misheard or misunderstood the name you were being called. Like everyone kept calling you Sumire, but your cognition made you hear it as Kasumi.
So that's why nobody thought it was weird, including her folks and herself. Damn.
What about when she writes her name? What about when she introduces herself? What about when she does literally anything else other than having someone say her name to her? What about when she says her name out loud? You know, like when Kechi figured out something was wrong because she said her name, because Joker said her name, and Kechi's like, wait, that's not her name. What are you talking about? I got that. None of those just count.
Not
This
important.
must be part of the whole salvation nonsense Maruki's trying to pull over on us.
Exactly.
That memory may have been kept here in video form because he truly does wish for Violet to be happy with life.
I admit, I really did feel saved in that moment when I became Kasumi, but at the same time, I ran from my life as Sumire. I'm genuinely grateful for what Dr. Maruki did for me, but I'm done running. Let's get going.
Mark Lily wants someone to think they're completely someone else right in front of his own face, and he thought nothing wrong with that. What the fuck? So it's like, nah, it's just miles along, like nothing's wrong. Like it's not something that could easily fall apart. Perfectly fine, says Maruki.
Yeah, that's wrong. You should save, by the way.
It's big brain time.
So this is the puzzle, huh? What do we have to do here?
Also, look on the right. You will notice the big Rumi statue,
Oh my lord.
along with the other statues. In fact, there are pictures of Rumi in that second part of the palace, but it's more obscure to see because it's all on the screens. I said Maruki is a gosh darn simp for a person that he refuses to even see anymore. There's nothing that pisses me off. He's a simp for someone he refuses to associate with.
So far, Maruki seems very contradictory towards himself. And it's like confusing the hell out of me. Because like he states he wants to do something, but then he contradicts himself. It's like, I don't understand your intentions here, guy. Like, your palace and your memories are like you're sobbing and you're mourning, like, you know, as if you lost your woman when you didn't. You could have, like, you know, tried again. Like, she even stated, oh, even though, you know, she doesn't know who you are, she stated, hey, we'd like to meet again or whatever the fuck. You could have started over. I don't understand. Nothing was stopping you from being with her again. Understand? You cucked yourself.
You are now realizing the problem I had with Maruki that the game does not elaborate on.
That he cucked himself?
He cucked himself, and there is no reason for it. There is no reason given. Any reason you could possibly give makes no sense. He
It
just
really
he just leaves her there, which is why I don't believe he lost Rumi. He just abandoned her.
Yeah, like nothing was stopping you from like just starting over again. I you contradicted yourself. What the fuck is this?
That's one of the main problems I have with his back. Why I say his backstory is not tragic, because he did it to himself, and then rather than fixing it, he decides to just play the victim. Which is why I hate that first flashback. On top of the fact that Rumi is not a character. We only ever see her in that one cutscene. In fact, everything from her head below doesn't even belong. Is even part of her model. Is actually part of a Kawakami model for one part of her social link.
Oh my god. Rip.
The only thing roomy about that model is her head.
Fucking made a new head, but it's Kawakami's body. Okay. Alright.
Oh, yeah, people keep trying to say it's so deep. Look, when he says, "Oh, my girlfriend is dead," suddenly Rumi has no portrait anymore. Isn't that deep? Like, no.
Joker.
But she's not dead.
Dude just abandoned his girlfriend.
Okay, so we have red, we have colors here. So what exactly am I, or what are we supposed to make?
Passages will open up depending on the color.
Joker, it's a treasure chest.
Okay. So the way we have to go is blue, I see. So we have to make the colors turn blue? Wouldn't that be red and green? No. That's yellow. Blue. What makes blue? Fuck.
Oh, you just picked blue.
Oh.
Oops, got the okay button right. The contradiction thing about the thing that's supposed to be contradictory about Maruki is the fact that he wants to help people move on, but then all of a sudden now he's like, "Oh, I want to help. I just want to help you forget. I don't want to rewrite that everything bad that happened to you that never happened. Actually move on from your problem."
Yeah, that's where I disagree with. I don't like that.
That's the whole contradictory aspect, which also relates back to one of the questions we got asked earlier, which is, should you strive from your dream, or if your dream is too difficult, should you just instead move on to something else? And the correct answer from Maruki's headspace was move on to something else. It's hard to move forward, so instead, just forget about it. There's also another thing that Maruki also mentioned to the school, which he said occasionally, every now and then, if things get too difficult, just separate yourself from the situation. But every now and then, it's not rewriting the entire world, now is it?
Yeah.
It's one of the issues that Persona 3 also has, where I wouldn't be considering Maruki to be a scumbag if it wasn't for scale.
Did you just say Persona 3?
Yes, the same issue at Persona 3 was Yukari.
Oh.
Yukari lashing out and wanting to see Makoto wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't the world would be at risk again.
Yeah.
The sheer scale of it is what makes Yukari a scumbag for that.
Also,
but people don't care about that fight. They just care about Yukari's feelings. But her feelings were in the case of the world is at risk, and you're over here winning the rest of the world over one dude. A dude that the relationship the player may not even have with Yukari.
Yeah.
It's like another thing, another issue that I have with Royal is the fact that I'm supposed to believe that Joker, who is the player, this is a big argument for why the whole entire thing of trying to make a solid protagonist for Persona, what's going to own personalities, can also contradict each other. You're meant to believe that Joker likes Akechi enough to where he wants him back. But do you, the player, want Akechi back?
Not quite.
And that's the problem. Akechi is here because Joker wished for Akechi.
Something else.
But if the player didn't wish for Akechi, then it sounds like the game is just putting words in your mouth when the character of Joker wanted Akechi back.
But when there's too much to
This semester's fucking weird.
I mean, this is the same issue that has been happening like Persona 4 as well.
Yeah.
Where you have the whole entire thing with Nanako where they expect you to care greatly about Nanako, and to the point where you're potentially gonna murder someone, but you can also just not care about Nanako, and thus that entire thing just falls apart. Which is also a lot of people talk about Maruki have the whole thing of, I got sad 'cause I didn't want to fight Maruki. It's like, yeah, you felt that way, but someone else could be like, yo, F Maruki. I've seen many people say, doing the final boss fight made me sad 'cause I had to fight Maruki. And it's like, I want to nah, I want to kick his butt, he's a scumbag.
Shit, I didn't know Haru and Morgana had a thing. Shit.
Yes, I've shown you it before during the Kumara boss fight. I literally wasted time in a timed boss fight just to show it to you.
Oh.
Yeah, it has the whole crux of the issue of we need the player to care about this character, otherwise this entire sequence will fall apart. In P4's case, it was the "do you kill Namatame" thing. If you didn't care about Nanako to the point where you wanted to potentially commit homicide, it falls apart. Right. I get the thing on the left. So then you're not thinking irrationally. So pretty much the game at that point expects you to essentially be like Yosuke, where you're screaming and angry with rage.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
But in my first playthrough, I didn't care about Nanako at all. So I'm like, why are you getting so mad for? On top of that, the other issue is, if you aren't mad like Yosuke, then it's Yosuke trying to be mad about Nanako's death on your behalf, which is a massive insult. It's someone getting mad for you and being upset that you're not that mad. Which caused that entire sequence to just fall apart.
I can feel it.
It's pretty much a double-edged sword of trying to create an entire sequence that requires some big emotional connection, but if there is no connection, then the entire scene falls apart. So it's either, hey, do we need to hope the player likes his character, otherwise, uh-oh.
Huh.
It's why some games then go overboard with how they handle things. Case in point, Atelier Ryza 2. Atelier Ryza 2 wants this little mascot character to be super important and needs the player to care about the character. Their idea of doing that is by making literally every important character in the game have some annoying obsession with the thing. It is to the point where you could be doing alchemy stuff and the game will interrupt you to play a cutscene of someone going, "Isn't this guy the best thing ever?"
I may have thought of something.
And they do that for every party member. They will just suddenly show up at your house and go, "Isn't this thing the best thing ever?"
I see.
Because they need you to feel sad about it, because it leaves the end of the game. You're supposed to feel sad, but by the end of the game, you'll actually be annoyed, because it is actually getting in the way of the gameplay. Has the whole double-edged sword nature of the idea. Then you got other issues like Kasumi, who's freaking doesn't have much in the game at all and isn't relevant, but that also means you also don't give a crud when this whole third semester thing happens to her. Cause it's like because you probably don't really give enough. On top of that, to make it even worse, freaking you can't even date Sumire until the third semester, which means no Christmas date,
Yeah, I remember you told me this.
which is incredibly dumb. It's gonna make you less inclined to want to pick her. And then Sumeri also has the other issue, which Marie has. We want you to pick this person so bad that we will basically try and forcibly ship you with this person, whether you like it or not. No matter what you do in P4G, the game basically, the game still tries to act as if you and Marie are very close, even if you're not. Even to the point where she will give you Valentine's chocolate no matter what.
Yeah.
In this game, Kasumi gets so much screen time and so much solo screen time emphasis that it's a case of pretty much feeling like the game's like, this is who you're supposed to be with. And if that weren't bad enough, the game also tries very hard to make you feel bad for rejecting Sumeri.
Really?
You basically have to reject this person who's basically has puppy dog love for you to her face, and then and then she basically tries to hide the fact how hurt she is, and then goes, "Hey, I'm gonna just leave. I'll just leave now. Bye." And she tells how deeply hurt she is. I'm gonna go off and cry. I'm sure you are.
Hey,
I have no idea why this dialogue's even here. Like, why have Haru interrupt you to go, wait, that's not progress, like the Wilsey's over here.
let's grab it.
Why not?
That's the issue of how do you get a player to care about a certain character? Do you try to force a connection hard, or do you just try to make it more natural? But even then, you get more natural quotation marks.
It's just weird.
Like, people don't like how Marie needs every party member for her social link to show up or do something, because trying to force her to have this big connection with the party. But Kasumeri has the opposite problem, where she has little freaking chemistry with the party. To the point where it's questionable why to even invite her to stuff. So it becomes this whole entire problem. What do you do?
There's really no good answer.
It's because you can't force a connect. Can't try and force this big connection a player may or may not have. It's like for example, you like Maruki, but you still think his plan is bad. That is something not expected.
Really?
The game expects you to think think Maruki has at least a good idea.
No, not at all.
Me, I'm the complete thing they wanted to avoid, which is I hate Maruki. Which is not what they were trying to go for, considering how much the third semester tries to emphasize is, but he's not a bad guy, he just wants you to be happy. I'm like, shut the F up, all of you.
You really want to live in a cruel and unjust world?
Shoot them. Your dad gave up his life, you got the nerve to call him a fool? Yeah, Maruki is built up to try and be this seriously nice person, so that way you won't think so that way that you will find him agreeable, which is what most people end up doing. They find Maruki overly agreeable, and freaking don't want to fight him.
Agreeable.
Yes, yes. I told you, people either go, Maruki has the right idea, or people say Maruki did nothing wrong and he's the hero of this story and the families are the villains.
No, I know, but I say that in like disgust. Like, really, really.
Like I said, when Royal first came out in the West, you could not avoid people constantly saying, like, you would take his offer was real. It's like, no.
No, not at
No. That's a bad idea. Or people saying, oh, it's the idea of an offer. There is no offer. It's forced on you whether you want it or not. What I hate most about this is the fact that people then have the balls to try and turn around and be like, Yaldabaoth and Shido were bad, and I'm like, Maruki's doing the exact same thing. Maruki's doing the exact same thing as Yaldabaoth. But because Maruki is human, people find them agreeable and say it's way better. Hell, if you want even dumber thing, there are people who don't like Shido as a villain because they feel like having everything connected. No. That they don't like Yaldabaoth because they don't like the idea of the story having one central big bad behind everything. Despite the fact that Shido is one central big bad behind everything. Like, don't make this be an excuse. Just say you want the final boss of Persona game to be a human. There's nothing wrong with just saying that, but don't try and bend over backwards to try and justify something else.
Time to get a little crazy.
There's a giant mess. Why? I hear that. Make you understand.
Then again, you also have just also the P5 problem, which are the shadows. In P4, you are never meant to take a take a shadow at its word, at face value. But in P5, that's literally all you get, which becomes a big problem. You get life aid, restores 8% of HP and SP after a battle. So I have the whole problem with Shadow Akumura, where you don't get to learn if any of the bad stuff happening in his restaurants and company are actually true firsthand. You have to just take the word of the mind palace in his brain.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is why it's baffling, the idea of, we're doing this for the people. No, you're not. You're doing it for Haru and nothing else.
So, what brings you back here after all these years?
That's a comprehensive study on the research you tried to shut down all these years ago.
I know how to read. What I meant was, why are you bringing this to me now?
Oh, this is just a quick visit out of spite. I wanted to show you in person that I found the concrete evidence you had discontinued my research over.
So it appears. I'll admit you've impressed me on that point, at least. But such praise does nothing now. All this discussion is in the past. Why can't you just let it stay there and move on?
No can do, Professor. Cognitive science has made too great an impact on this world to be abandoned like that.
What are you saying?
The psychotic breakdown incidents. The sudden changes of heart in adults that the Phantom Thieves claim to make. I'm nearly willing to call these events concrete evidence of cognitive science in action. How about you? And the one person pulling the strings in the background of this, Congressman Masayoshi Shido. He seems to be confessing to all sorts of crimes now that the Phantom Thieves have changed his heart. Years ago, Shido took notice of my research, stole it away from me, and made others develop it for his own gain. Not only that, he used cognitive science somehow to induce the politically motivated psychotic breakdowns. Now, you're heavily involved in that series of events, aren't you?
What are you planning on doing with me?
Oh, nothing at all. As I said before, I only came here out of spite. That paper, my work, is going to change the world.
Change the world? And where's the money for that?
Fucking
Where's the
Death Note.
power to do it? You're no Shido. What can someone like you actually do?
That paper there is just the first step.
Your effing Death Note was clearly timed with the fact that I literally just saw someone retweet an image of Death Note cosplay.
Well, now.
So you perfectly timed effing Death Note.
I have learned how to change the cognition of not just an individual, but all of humanity. And I will do it. No matter how long it takes.
Yeah, enough of this dribble. Get out of my office and don't show your face here again, hear me?
What is this?
What's your problem now?
Huh? You don't see this? The sky just...
The time has come.
This voice...
The time is finally at hand. I am the other you, dwelling in the realm of mankind's hearts.
The other... me? Wait, the realm of mankind's hearts? Are you telling me that this realm is...
You may have no knowledge of it, but I have been at your side for much longer than our current meeting. Finally, your reality and the sea of hearts from which I came have truly become one in this moment. Now, the time for your unjustly persecuted ideology is at hand. I am thou. Thou art I.
That's it. I finally get it. To think it'd be so...
Hey, what are you mumbling about? I told you to get out!
Yes. I'll be on my way.
That's a hero for right the face I've ever seen one, right?
Yeah.
That's the face of a good guy, am I right?
Yeah.
Finally. Now I can finally...
Those are the words of a good guy, am I right?
Christ.
Shido.
To think he was the one who stymied Dr. Maruki's research.
You know, I've been wondering ever since we saw the earlier video. Do you think there was some kind of connection between my mom's cognitive science research and Dr. Maruki's?
After he crushed Maruki's chance at researching the field, he had his own pawns do it for him instead. Although I doubt Shido's researchers knew anything about the subject in the way Maruki did. That sounds exactly like the kind of plan that man would scheme up.
That bastard! Wait, now's not the time to get pissed about that.
There's another thing about that video nobody's mentioned yet. That being that appeared near the end was most likely Maruki's persona. The sky did turn red like that. I wonder if that was the day we fought against the god of control. Lady Lavenza did tell us that reality and mementos were merged together during that time. As you've all seen for yourselves, A full awakening to a persona can't happen unless you're within the metaverse. That would mean Maruki really did awaken to his persona in that video.
And at the same time, he attained the ability to meddle with mementos, the cognition of the masses. So it is just as Lavenza had told us. The sheer number of coincidences necessary for this to happen is just...
Why do people writers love pointing out, wow, it's amazing how coincidental everything needed to be in order for this event to happen?
You know, just to drive the point across.
Doesn't make a good writing. Pointing out your problems, that's not make a good writing.
At any rate, now we have a better grasp of past events. I'm fairly certain that was a memory Maruki wouldn't want us to have seen either.
All we can do is advance.
Yeah. We don't have the time for these questions anyhow. Let's go.
I repeat, everything is Shido.